I'll suggest that you do that more than once, and you can if you want. Usually I do it once. I'll look, and if this, once again, this is not a total indicator that I got a short leg, because now I want to see if it pans out up here at the iliums. So I'm going to check the ASIS, and I'm going to check the top of the iliac crest. So if I do that here, I'm looking at a short leg on her left side, and now I'm going to come up to the hips, and I'm going to go right underneath the ASIS. You'll feel a little notch, and you want to kind of get your thumbs right up against that bony landmark. And sure enough, this one looks. It almost looks like she might have a little bit of an upslip.
That's my different parts.
We talked. I don't know that I mentioned anything. I talked about it to a few people in a little small group when we were doing stuff together. And what happens to the ilium? And I didn't bring my hips today, but there's a thing called force closure. Force closure. What the heck is force? Have you guys talked about force closure?
Act like we have not ever learned anything in our lives.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's kind of the same.
So what does force mean?
Yeah.
And closure. What's
Force
that mean?
closure. Okay.
I don't know.
So, what happens with this SI joint? Basically, what I mentioned yesterday with the pelvis, the only thing that really holds it all together is what? Ligaments. So, and if you pull, like I had the leg and this position where I was grabbing it, and you can pull on it, right? And if you pull on it, it's loose enough, you'll feel the ilium reflect and come back, and it'll feel like it's got a little rubber band or a big rubber band attached to it, because it'll pop off there and snap back. That's the ligaments that's holding them together. Well, if this gets loose from any kind of a situation where, because those ligaments cause, there's bony notches on the iliums and a bony notch on the sacrum that forces, when those ligaments are nice and tight, forces that in on those notches so it doesn't move up and down so much. And it's not supposed to move up and down this way. It's supposed to stay right there and be nice and stable. Okay? That's why you got all this thoracolumbar fascia right here, right at that low back. It helps stabilize this low back and lumbar vertebra. And once those start getting a little unstable, you'll get a lot of pain here, because now when the brain senses instability, we talked about that. What happens when the brain senses instability?
It closes it up.
Okay, it starts tightening everything up, and you start losing range of motion for stability. And if it's tight for very long, we start losing blood flow. When we start losing blood flow, we get inflammation, and now, not so good.
Pain.
So, force closure is caused by these ligaments being nice and tight. Well, as you get older, a little bit, it might not be as tight as it used to be. And so, you'll have an upslip, or if you have some kind of trauma where you happen to step off a curb, didn't know it was there, and you go, whoa! And you got this, and then so it shoves that ilium up. Now, here's where your femur goes in, right there, to the acetabulum, and there's no way to get this guy to come back down, because you're putting pressure on that ilium up all the time, right? So the only way I can get this guy to come down is either pull on it, or I was showing this technique over there yesterday where I get my client to relax this leg, and I'm going to, if I can get him to relax enough, I'm going to bring it down and pop the hamstring off the top. So I'm going to get her to, just because this seems like it's a little up, and you're having some issues there, you say, it's a little tight, a little sore maybe. So what I want to try to do, and this is hard for people to close your eyes. then it tightened up more. So I just want to try to get them to where they let this go and just let it relax, nice and loose. Just let it go. It's perfect. And then I'm going to pull it, but she caught me. She wouldn't let me do it. She's scared. Well, here, I'm going to show you what this feels like. You know, I'm just pulling that down. Okay, now I want you to kick out. There. Good. Okay, so that way I can help bring that ilium back down if it has upslipped. So that's one way, and then of course I can do it this way too, right? But I was just checking. There's another thing that we didn't do yesterday. Once I get up to these hips, I also like to get this knee up, come up under here, right in that area where the two iliums come together with the sacrum, and you're going to feel this. I'm grabbing that, and there's that area that right here, right up here in this little pocket between the two iliums, they call this the sacral sulcus. And you can get, what I'm doing is I'm rotating, here she is, I'm rotating this hip so I can come down here and get in this sulcus area. So now I can kind of get in there and work all around that thoracolumbar fascia, because that stuff, there's a ton of connective tissue there. And anytime there's a lot of connective tissue, what's that mean to blood flow?
Restricted.
Not so good. And so if it starts getting, you know, she maybe had upslip and you start getting some inflammation in there, when I go in here like this and rotate over, so I'm going to go right in that sacrum area, feeling for that lip of that ilium right here. And then I'm going to kind of follow it up right through there, because that's going to be sore. That's what it hurts. So it's gotten inflamed. So what I can do is I can go in there and stimulate some blood flow by going in and putting my fingers in there and moving all the way around. I want to try to come all the way around up on the crest. It's going to be real sore up here. Most of the time it's going to be. Tons of muscles connect here. Lats, rectors, all those muscles along the spine. All the lats are all over this area. Come down from your humerus, right? And connect down there. A big muscle. So a lot of connections in there. Getting in there and working that whole area around that will make them sore, but it'll help. They could be sore the next day. This is where really talking about getting some fluid through the system, especially water. Anybody know about pH? Chemistry? Okay. What's the normal pH level for a human being? Anybody know what it's supposed to be? Okay, somewhere around neutral. Somewhere around 7, right? We tend to run what? More acidic or more alkaline?
More acidic, don't
More
we?
acidic, right. So, the big deal, what's water drinking have to do with any of that pH? Okay, so what am I probably breaking up here when I go into that tissue? More acids, right? More acids probably. So your pH level is going to go more acidic, which is down. And so the reason why we tell people to drink water is trying to bring you back to a nice pH of 7. Okay? And so if you're at pH of 7, chances are you're not going to have that pain. So that's the big reason why we tell everybody to drink water. I don't know if that was explained to you, but I know a lot of therapists say, hey, why do we have to drink water?
It was explained a different way. It was explained that the water flushes the system. It flushes the toxins out.
Right. And what you're doing is you're flushing the toxins out, getting the acid out, bringing it back up to your pH of.
That's even better.
And so that's how it's working. That's what our system wants to be. We want to be neutral. We don't really want to be acidic, or we don't want to be alkaline. We want to be good old 7.0. So I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to feel that. Yeah.
So are you just pushing along there
I'm just
and
kind of
doing
I'll just go
compression
along that
inside?
edge. Yeah.
Okay.
Say an uncle here. It's not too bad, or okay. Yeah. Now I want to try. Now to get reason why am I bringing this leg up like that? Brings that when I raise this leg up like that, it brings this ilium back out. Kind of makes this ilium rotate out this way. You know, because I'm bringing the knee up, causing this ilium come out so I can get to it. So that's why I'm bringing it out. Now what I'll do too is I'll come over here, and when I get on that ilium, when I find it, now to get up here to the top, I'm going to come here and put some pressure on it so I can run it, kind of follow this up. Yeah. Yeah, this is where I'm talking about getting tendon. Right in here. Oh, yeah. Well, we're getting a little movement. But so, if you've got somebody that has had an upslip or, you know, got low back issues, usually around that area, around these bones, is some of the problems.
So that would help low back
probably
pain.
you've got misalignments. You don't have a level sacral base. You got a forward, anteriorly rotated right ilium. For most of us being right-handed, but you can check that with the ASIS, right? So hers being a little high here. I didn't notice it rotated forward so much as I noticed it was high. See how? Okay, so she's talking about low back pain, and I was seeing that ilium was a little high. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to bring these knees up. And we did this too yesterday. And now I'm going to have you put your foot on my chest right there. Again, I want you to put your arms above your head. And I want you to put your knees out to the side a little bit. And now I'm rotating those iliums back, trying to get it off the sacrum, right? Trying to create some space and some joint mobility. Okay, just a little push, about 10% of your effort. Give me push. 3, 2, 1, and relax it. Right. I want you to do it again. 3, 2, 1, and relax.
If someone doesn't have any pain, is this still good to do to them?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I mean, because
You won't cause any harm doing any of this.
not
I feel like
unless,
it would be like a good stretch.
yeah,
Okay.
Unless somebody's got something broken, you know. It's,
Okay. Just no broken things.
that's a contraindication, right? Any broken things. We don't do any massage, or we stay away from that spot. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of stretch that out. Now I can also kind of come up here and stretch this a little bit. We didn't do too much of this. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to stretch hamstrings. One of the ways that Dalton likes to do. Also, I was going to mention all these techniques that I'm doing. You can get on a DVD from Eric Dalton if you want. They're not too cheap. So, but we'll be going over them enough, and you'll be using them enough. I don't know that you'll need to, and you got your cameras here. So, but if you want to go to his website, you can get them from his website too, just in case.
What kind of price are we talking about? Like $100 or $500 or $1,000?
It's all of his packages are.
288 I saw.
Yeah,
as a
around
package
288,
deal.
300, somewhere in there.
That
And
comes
some
with
of them are less.
That came with the book, CDs, and
Right.
a certificate after
So,
you're done.
do you think that he would sell his DVD separately?
Well, he does have, he's got separate DVD packages. He's got one called the Techniques Tour, which is a real good one. It's a 3 DVD set that he goes through a lot of the different techniques that he does. And I don't think it's as expensive as the other ones. That's a good one.
Is that going to show what you're showing us now?
Yeah, it's going to show a lot of. You're going to see them all, and those would be good. Now, if I was going to suggest any of them to buy, that would be the one I'd tell you to buy.
And it was Techniques
Yeah,
Tour.
Techniques Tour, DVD set, if you want. I
His
think.
site has a lot of the videos. I don't know if anyone's been on it.
Yeah,
but
and you can
watch
go to
the videos.
YouTube and get a lot of his videos too.
They're really neat.
Yeah,
Just like what he's doing here.
you checked it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're good. And so if you want to do that, you can. Okay, so where was
Stretching
I?
hamstrings.
Yeah, stretching hamstrings. Thanks. There's a couple different ways. You've all seen this way, right? And now you can also bring them up here and then have them push down against you. 3, 2, 1, relax, and then you're just going to go to the next barrier and do it again. 3,
Okay.
2, 1, relax. Okay, and then do it again. 3, 2, 1, relax. Yeah, and then of course you're going to get to a spot where
That's it.
they don't want to go any farther. So, and I know a lot of the athletic trainers that I work with will push it a little bit, push that stretch on you. And then of course, all this fascia is connected all the way to the toes. So if I get up here and just do this a little bit, right, I can get a
Talk about
little
a
bit.
stretch.
Yeah.
Get a little more stretch on it. Okay, so there was some new things there. When we came in here for the last time, there was a couple different ways. We could either put this foot on our hip, checking first that we got a good knee. And so then I can come in here and just lean on this. And I like to hold this leg down because sometimes when you it'll pull the other leg up. So you want to make sure you got a nice, keep this leg down. Yeah. So now I want you to push me. 3, 2, 1, and relax. I just want to take up the slack and do it again. 3, 2, 1, relax. Good. And then one more time. 3, 2, 1, let it go, and I want you to breathe. Good. Now notice where her leg's pointing in the direction of her ilium. 45 degrees is good, because a lot of people come up here real straight, and that's not really where it goes. And you'll notice you'll get a lot more stretch too, because now you're in line.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so then I brought the leg down. Now, of course, I've thrown in some, over the times that I've been using these techniques, I've adapted some of Dalton's things and thrown in some of my own little things that I've liked. So this coming down here and just kind of rotating this foot back and forward, kind of letting that joint is something that I just threw in there, and then moving all around this total hip socket motion, and then coming over here. He'll talk about this, going across that line, and you could sometimes have some issues where it'd be a little tender. How you doing right there? Pretty good. Okay, and then now I'm going to do internal rotation, and give me a pull in. 3, 2, 1, relax. And again, 3, 2, 1, relax. And one more time. 3, 2, 1, go. You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. So and there's a couple ways to do this. The farther you go down this way with that knee, the more it's going to stretch this piriformis. So if I have her up here where I cross the leg over and I put the foot up on my shoulder, I want to bring her this way. So now it's really stretching,
Yep.
and I'm going to pull that knee this way and have you pull your knee up to your shoulder. There you go. 3, 2,
How do you
1.
write
Relax
this?
it. Relax. Good. Do it again. 3, 2, 1. Relax. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Breathe.
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really
You
feel
won't
it.
have to rub your butt on that one.
Okay, so now I did internal, external rotation. I'm going to come over here, and now I'm going to hit the hip capsule. Right, I'm going to have you give me a push back with the knee. 3, 2, 1, relax it. Now I'm trying to hold right on that hip, that ASIS. 3, 2, 1, relax. Do it again. 3, 2, 1, let it go. Now you can also, and I've seen this, I'm going to leave it here, come over here where you go this way. But me, I have a lot better, leverage if I get up here with my knees and hold like this. So that was...
Pushing's easier than pulling.
Yeah. So, once again, I make some stuff up that you'll see Dalton do a little different than I do. So then I'm going to come down here, get ASIS, and give me a push-up. 3, 2, 1, relax. One more time. 3, 2, okay, so that was the internal external rotation and hitting that hip capsule. We also did this where we brought the legs up and we crossed the legs over like that. Not like this. This way I'm hitting the piriformis. This way I'm going to go into the hip capsule here with a little stretch, and go right into that.
That looks so good.
Yeah.
So I'm working that hip capsule good. And we might as well do the other side. since we're here.
I think I like the other side.
Yeah.
So with the leg crossed over, not with the foot.
The
pushing
calf.
it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, we don't.
So this is going to do piriformis.
Right, that's
and then
piriformis. Then we're
those
doing
are
that
over
hip
is
capsule.
actually
We're
gonna
stretching
be-
that the glutes around that hip capsule. Okay, and so there's some more things that we can do with the legs and the hips. Remember last night I was showing you where I could come over here, and now I'm going to actually be stretching the whole spine. And when I get in this position, I can't do it very good with just my hand. So I get my knee up here. And this is chiropractors, this is the old magic roll that they do. And the only thing is, now Dalton will show this for spondylosis, where you have, what happens sometimes to folks is you'll have the disc, actually the inside of the canal for the spine will get a little calcium buildup and put pressure on the root, the spine root. And so he uses this technique where he actually has you on your side like this, rotated, and he'll just kind of bounce you. And he says that can help break up that calcium, because it's a soft calcium that forms in this canal of the spine. But what I do is I like to stretch this whole thing. So I come up here and I'll have you rotate back to the table with that hip. 3, 2, 1, relax it. And then I'll get you to stretch a little more. Do it again. 3, 2, 1, let it go. And then one more time. 3, 2, 1, let it go. And I want you to breathe. Breathe. Oh, and that will feel like, man, that's a little tender. But when you get done, it always feels good when I quit.
Should you flip them over and do the other side too?
I'm just
wondering if it's
good.
stretching the one part, if
and
you
I
have to
gotta
do.
slide that
Is
leg
all
over.
of this-
I like for them to cheat to that hip. That's good. This hand's going to go here. You're going to grab the table down here just to hold on, I don't want you to fall
feel like I
off.
was going to fall off.
All right, and now I want you to give me a pull back. 3, 2, and let it go. Good. One more time. I heard that.
Oh, my
3, 2, 1.
Was it
Let it
good?
go.
Oh my gosh.
And one more time. 3, 2, 1. Let it go.
Oh.
Breathe. All right. So once in a while you get some cavitations. That low back will let go. And
What is that word?
cavitation?
Cavitation.
Yeah. And a little pop.
That was
Feels
the
so
word
good.
yesterday.
It feels so good. Okay, so of course now I'm going to do a little stretch here. Those hips, I come back this way. Good. Just a nice little stretch. those are good. So then going up to the neck, I'm gonna have to scoot up.
I can't remember all of this.
So you want to try to do that? Just that? Yeah, let's work.
Yeah, let's
Go ahead and do that.